Hello, everyone. My name is Keegan Cunningham, and I am an SNN staff editor. And this is,
Emory, Wright, and I am a reporter for SNN.
yep. And today we're going to be discussing our top 10 favorite video games.
So any honorable mentions to start off for one, Far Cry 4. That's a good one because it's an open world game, and not only is it open world, but the action and the story is actually pretty good. Because Far Cry is one of those games where it's just like, I don't really know how to describe it. It's a serious game, but there's lots of mayhem in there. So that's an honorable mention just to, kick this off.
Yeah, I've heard Far Cry 4 is really good.
It's a really good game.
Pagan. Right?
Pagan Man. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And his voice actor is also Joel's voice actor.
Oh.
Yeah, he's voice acted a lot of people. Joel, the Joker in the Batman Arkham games.
Oh, yeah, Troy Baker.
Yeah.
He gets around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My honorable mention, have you ever heard of a game franchise called Deus Ex Human Revolution or Mankind Divided?
No, I haven't.
Pretty much it's just like a sci-fi game set in the future, well, not far, far future. But it's kind of similar to Cyberpunk. It's just a fun game where you're like the Terminator, basically.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds pretty fun. Is it on Steam or Xbox or PlayStation?
Yeah, it should be on all of them.
Nice.
But the game has like a really good job of story and world exploration.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like not a very big games, but they're very dense. Like
Right.
the playthrough we have is going to be different,
Mm-hmm.
and it has like a really good story, like really good choices, good approaches to combat. Like you can go through the whole games without killing anyone.
So the choices, is it one of those games where you make a decision and it impacts the story?
Yes, it actually does.
Okay, yeah, those games are usually pretty good. Now, I think we should get into the actual stuff.
Yep. You want to start off, or should I?
Well, I start out with my honorable mention, so you go ahead.
Oh, all right. My number 10 game is
Get right. Yeah. Here we go.
You might have heard of this one called Subnautica.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. It's like an undersea exploration game where you crash land on an alien planet and you have to explore the ocean. And what makes it really unique is most games have like their land segments. Like when they're on the land, like Far Cry 4, you're building cars and stuff. Usually that stuff's better than whatever's in the water. The water's usually just a crappy side level, and Subnautica it's the opposite.
Here's the thing with Subnautica, though. I first heard of the game when I saw Corey Kenshin play it, and then when it got on console, on Xbox, on Game Pass, I didn't really play it that much, but I have seen clips of it, and it can be a pretty scary game. And I think there's another game that's just like Subnautica. I forgot what it was called, but it's an underwater sea exploration game, and it's pretty creepy.
Maybe the sequel, Subnautica Below Zero?
No, it's not in the Subnautica series. It's a whole different game. I forgot what it's called, though. I know it's something, but Subnautica, it's a pretty interesting game. I haven't really gotten into it.
I just think it has the best exploration I've ever experienced in a game. Very satisfying and meaningful upgrades. Just awesome sea creatures. Cool story, and what I really like about it is it's one of the scariest games I've ever played. And I think horror is always at its best when you don't expect it. So having it be in a game like Subnautica really makes it hit that much harder.
Now, number 10, I'm going to have to say Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Now, I would have put it higher, but I have other games that I like better. Because Black Ops 2, for one, I grew up with Call of Duty, and Black Ops 2 is very nostalgic when I play, and I still own it. I play it every now and then. Only thing that's frustrating is the modders, but Zombies, multiplayer and campaign, it's by far, in my opinion, the best Call of Duty game that Activision has ever created, because the multiplayer is fun to play with friends. There's so many things you can do on there. The zombies, it's such a fun experience. It's scary, but it's so much fun, and the campaign is really good. It has a good story, good characters, good villains, and all the other stuff. I just hope that Activision decides to remaster it one day, and it would be pretty cool if they did it in 2025, in which the game takes place in. And that's the thing about Black Ops 2 is the realism as well. It's a really good game. I just enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, I've never really been huge in the Call of Duty franchise. I only played Ghost and Black Ops 2.
Right.
But I do really enjoy Black Ops 2. Like that zombies mode, I used to like invite every friend I had over.
Yeah.
And just have the best time.
And one thing I really like about the game, and I don't really have to put a spoiler warning because the game's like, dang it, how old?
It's old.
Yeah, it's pretty old. One part of the game where you're walking with Miguel and you're playing as Woods, and the target is Target Nexus, or Nexus Target, which is the main antagonist of the game. His name was Raul Menendez. And you're walking with Miguel, and you're on a rooftop with a sniper rifle, and you see this guy who's supposed to be Menendez. He has a bag over his head. So you can either shoot him in the leg or you shoot him in the head. So if you shoot him in the head, or regardless of what happens, when you shoot him, then a cutscene will play afterwards where you're walking with Miguel again. But prior to that, he says, no one must know that I betrayed him. And when you shoot him and you run over, something is off, and take the bag off his head, is Mason, who was a pretty important character. And he basically ended up shooting him. And then Woods gets kneecapped with a shotgun, and that's why he was in that wheelchair the whole time when he gets old. So that was a pretty good twist.
Yeah, I remember that, but that's one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Games,
Now on to number 9.
All right. My number 9 is Batman Arkham City. Easily just one of the best stories in any game. Great atmosphere, world.
Yeah, that was also going to be my number 9. Batman Arkham City.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is a really, really good game. Really good soundtrack. And a good story. And good combat, too.
Yeah.
Because the thing is with there's lots of ways that Batman handles things. Now, if I have to say, Arkham Batman is very ruthless.
Oh, yeah.
You see him, like, throw people off of rooftops, and Arkham Knight, he just has, like, that Batmobile. He's interrogating people. He's about to crush their head with a Batmobile. Like, what is all that about? That's ridiculous. But that was a really good game. The plot point with the Joker getting sick, that was really good.
Yeah, that twist was insane.
That twist was really good. But yeah, Batman, it was a really good game. I really enjoyed it. And I played the remaster too.
Oh.
Yeah, there's or the definitive edition. There's on Xbox, it's called the Batman Arkham Collection.
Oh yeah. That's the one I played.
Yeah. I played the original and I played that one.
Yeah, but that was your number 9 too, so we're moving on to 8.
Mhm.
That's funny, we got the same one. My number 8 is Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed 2. The Ezio trilogy are by far some of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah. Like,
one of my favorite trilogies.
You have no idea how hard it was to choose which Ezio entry to put on number 8.
Oh,
like,
man.
It was so hard for me to decide.
That it was just, man, the soundtrack.
Oh my god.
I think what makes games so good are the soundtracks.
Yeah, it's definitely just one of the biggest factors. Like, just iconic.
You need to have a good soundtrack for a good game. But Ezio is a really good character. I wish that they could remake the game, but I guess it wouldn't really be too bad. But I don't think it would really be the best. But I would have to say that Assassin's Creed 2 is a really good game, and I really enjoyed it as a child growing up.
Yeah, it may seem strange to some people to put an Assassin's Creed game in your top 10 with its not great reputation nowadays.
Right.
But when I finished watching the original Godfather movie, yeah, you probably heard of it.
Yeah.
Everyone says it's like the best movie ever.
Mm-hmm.
The first thought I had was, wow, that reminded me of Assassin's Creed 2.
Man,
So
I've
if
never
that's
heard
a
anyone
good
say that. Actually, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
just like the story, the journey, how the characters grow up. And
yeah, but my number 8 is Telltale's. I had to say, the Telltale's The Walking Dead, season 1. That whole story with Lee and Clementine, it was a whole different take from the show. Now, they had a few references here and there, like they brought in Glenn and Herschel, but they were only for like the first episode, and they ended up leaving. But watching Clementine grow up throughout the whole franchise, dealing with the walkers, dealing with the ones that she cared about leave her and died because, and when Lee, spoiler alert by the way, when Lee turns or dies, yeah, depending on the choice, but I think it's canon if he dies. When he dies, there's a scene that got cut from the game, I think, or at least from what I remember, where Clementine is walking by herself, and she was 9 or 10, and she was by herself, no one with her. She was still that same little girl. All she had was a gun.
Wait, and that was the ending of the game?
It was after the events of the game, where after Lee passed and she left Savannah and she was walking in a field, and I think she picked up a shotgun shell and she was just looking at it. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, I can't imagine just being that young, having to grow up in an environment like that.
Yeah, no Joel or Clementine ever did.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's always been one of the games I've really wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gotten
You need to check it out one day. It's such a good game.
Yeah.
Really good.
I guess we'll just go into my number 7. My number 7's a little weird, because I was indecisive, but I just put God of War 2 and 3 because I couldn't decide which one I liked better.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean the originals here. And the entire franchise kind of needs to be played to like it to its fullest extent. Unlike a lot of media, like the more of it you consume or see, like with the older God of War games, I think it gets better. Like, I think the existence of the old games makes the new ones even better. Just
Right.
they complement each other so well. And the reason I put 2 or 3 is just because, iconic bosses, Kratos being just one of my favorite fictional characters.
Okay. Number 7, that's a good one. Number 7, Detroit Become Human.
Oh, yeah.
The atmosphere, the choices, the characters, how it transitions between each android, really good. Now,
Yeah.
Number 6, Dying Light.
Dying Light.
That is such a fun game. Parkour, combat. The story was good. I would give it about maybe a 7 out of 10. The story could have been better, but the parkour and the combat are my favorite things about the game.
Yeah,
Love it.
I actually got Dying Light for $10 just a couple days ago.
Yeah,
I've been playing it. It's amazing.
It's really good.
Yeah, but cool you made it on your list.
Mhm.
Yeah, so far the story seems a little weak, but combat parkour.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, my number 6 is may seem a little low, but it still deserves its place in The Last of Us.
That's understandable.
Best story in any game besides maybe one further up the list, which you'll recognize when you see it.
Mm-hmm.
Iconic characters, fire show adaptation, fun gameplay, and unique and awesome zombie concept.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, number 5, another zombie game. It's not part of Dying Light. Dead Island. Dead Island is a really good game. It's open world, and the second one just came out. And I plan on getting it. I've heard it was a pretty fun game. I've seen clips of it. But Dead Island, it has a really good story, I like how each character has their own unique ability to take out zombies in their own way.
Yeah, I've heard Dead Island's really good.
Mm-hmm. Right.
My number 5 is Bioshock.
Mm.
In my opinion, Bioshock is just the most well-written game I've ever seen, and just one of the most well-written pieces of media I've ever seen, period.
Mm-hmm.
And just amazing atmosphere, world building. My favorite villain in any video game. Like, just everything done right.
Really good. Now on to number 4. I am gonna have to say The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Like Keegan said, really good show adaptation, really good story, really good combat. It's a really good game.
Yeah, there's just nothing to... Like, there's no faults or flaws with it, really.
Mm-mm.
All right, my number 4 is Red Dead Redemption 2. Best protagonist in any piece of media I've ever seen. I'm not even kidding you.
Okay.
Just one of the greatest experiences I've had with any medium or art form, and most realistic world I've ever seen in a video game, along with amazing graphics.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, I have to do my 3 too. Okay, yeah, my number 3. Very new, but Elden Ring. Hardest game I've ever played, but definitely the most rewarding. Great world, iconic bosses, and it literally, I liked it so much I played the entire Dark Souls franchise.
Wow.
Yeah.
Number 3, Uncharted 4.
Ooh, oh, I knew I forgot something.
Uncharted 4, Thieves' End was such a good game.
Yeah.
Because you get to see, you get a little bit of Nathan's backstory, where he was in, where was he at, an orphanage? I think he was somewhere with, like, I know he was somewhere.
Like a found home or something.
Yeah, but when he was at that place, and you get to see, like, what him and his brother were doing, and you get to meet his brother, it's such a good game. So many twists and turns. It's amazing.
Game, yeah.
Really good game.
And amazing graphics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Really good.
My number 2 is in my opinion, number 2 on my list is just the best video game ever made. Like, it's not really a debate, just because that's on another level.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Shadow of the Colossus.
I think I heard of that.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I haven't.
It's literally just a playable piece of art. You pretty much you go to this mysterious land to bring back your dead lover, and then there's 16 giant colossus on the map that you have to slay and kill.
Oh wow!
And like, it's really cool how you kill them. It's not just like a God of War fight where it's button prompts. You like climb up on them and stab certain points.
Oh.
And each boss is entirely different. Like, some are giant snakes in the sky that fly. Others are like giant towers that shoot balls of fire at you. It's just really good.
That sounds very interesting. Number 2 for me, I'm just gonna go with a 360 game I used to play. It was a Family Guy game, Family Guy Back to the Multiverse. That was a really fun game. It was open world. You could play as multiple characters, because I think you played as Brian, Stewie, and Peter, and it was 2-player. So you were, at one point in the game, you were playing as Peter fighting the chicken. So one person, if it was 2 players, one person could play as Peter, the other one could play as the chicken.
Oh.
And it's either the chicken can kill Peter, or Peter kills the chicken. It's such a fun game. I really wish I could play it again.
Yeah, I like how that beat out Last of Us.
Yeah, it's a really good game.
Yeah. My number 1 is my favorite game of all time by far, and just one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. Which sounds a little over the top, but it's Skyrim. Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
I've heard a lot of things about Skyrim. I've heard it's a pretty good game.
Yeah.
I might give it a try one day, but it's not really
your cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you get sucked into it, it's just like, it's great. The world building is the best I've seen in any game. Like, the art direction of it, like, even 11, 10 years later, it still looks just so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a quote that's every like angle of Skyrim looks like it could be a wallpaper on your phone, and it's just true.
Oh man.
Great quest, great story, fun like weapon, fun combat. It's just nothing to dislike really.
Yeah. My number one. This is my favorite game of all time. I grew up playing this franchise, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, yeah.
The story, the soundtrack, the missions, the mechanics, everything about that game is so good. The online, now when you first play the online, it may seem fun at first, but then once you have like a bunch of stuff in the game, there really isn't anything to do. Now, I always do this, and I'm actually coming up with this little thing because if you guys are fans of westerns or acting or whatever, or just reading stories, period, there are role plays on Red Dead Redemption 2 online.
Oh.
So, if you guys are interested on seeing some things like that, I'm coming up with something new now. I'm not going to tell you the name of it yet because we haven't came up with one. You can follow one of my Instagram's account, Emory, Emory .rdr, and you can see some screenshots that I took, and you can see some of like outfit tutorials and everything. But Red Dead Redemption 2, really good game. It just deserves everything.
All the praise it gets.
Yeah.
And more.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for us. I hope you were able to like learn some stuff about games you like, or maybe learn about new games that you want to try out. We do strongly recommend all the ones we've talked about.
We really do.
And hope you guys have a good rest of your day.
Yep.